Hi, and welcome back to the podcast. This is Kira here. If you're new, I'm so glad to have you. Today, we're going to learn about what my son learned about autism at school, and it is helping him. So, we're going to learn about that together and stick around to the very end because I'm going to give you a hint on when and how to figure out what's going on with meltdowns. Welcome to the Autism Diagnosis to Confident Mom podcast with Kira from Kira Brown Coaching. I'm a mom of neurospicy kids and a life coach. I'm here to share real tips and support to help you feel confident as a parent. Today, I'm going to start out with a story and then we'll get into our topic. But the story, which leads to our topic, is this. Every night when my son goes to bed, my autistic son, he usually, not always, but usually will ask me to snuggle with him. For him, that means I go lay on his bed and I don't touch him, and we have a conversation. Last night, he had stayed home because he had been sick with a stomach bug, and I didn't really know what to ask him because we had hung out on the couch all day while he was sick. And so I asked him, what should I write my podcast on? About that autism. And he's like, I don't know. So I said, well, what do you wish people knew about autism? And he said, I've learned some things at school about it. And I was like, really? What? Because he normally doesn't talk about what he learns at school. So I was pretty excited about this. And he said that when he gets dysregulated, that he goes to the corner with the little thingies that go up and down. And I was like, thingies that go up and down? He's like, And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like on my sister's shirts. I was like, oh, like sequins? He's like, yes. I said, do you choose to go or does your teacher ask you to go? Some of both, but mainly she asks me to go. I get to go for 2 to 5 minutes. I said, okay. Does it help? Yeah. I said, are you getting angry at school? Yeah, which was news to me because the last 2 years in school, kindergarten and first grade, we had no signs of autism according to teacher reports. And so the fact that he's having some little meltdowns in school doesn't surprise me. He's getting older. There's going to be a bigger maturity gap. But the fact that he understood that he is dysregulated and he used that word, the fact that he is asking to go sometimes, advocating for himself, all of these are little wins. And I was so excited. I was so excited that he told me about it. He also I don't remember what I was going to say. My mind went blank. Sorry about that. Anyways, so today we're going to talk about calm down corners because that is what he is using at school and it's working for him. So I apparently myself also need to create one at home. I'm very surprised about sequins being what calms him down. We have a lot of sensory toys. We have a sensory bucket in the corner, but he never chooses to go to it usually. Occasionally he might go get us noise canceling headphones, but usually we just melt down at home. And so I love that he's picked up a tool, that we have learned something from school and we are going to use it at home as well. So I've done some research on calm down corners and I'm going to share it with you. What is a calm down corner? A calm down corner is simply just a quiet, private space that they can go to calm down. You can pick it anywhere. It can be a corner of a bedroom, a playroom, a living room. You want it to feel safe and private, but you don't want them to feel isolated in it. And then we're going to make it cozy. Maybe we put a rug or a beanbag or some pillows to sit on. We're going to have the lighting low. So maybe a lamp or some fairy lights or dimmable lights. Maybe we want it with a blanket. Even a weighted blanket would be better, because that's if a weighted blanket helps your child. You could use a small tent or teepee if you would like, so they can go in and close the door. You're going to add sensory tools. These things might be things like a weighted blanket, noise canceling headphones, fidget toys such as squishies, putty, stress balls, poppets. My little guy likes Transformers. He likes to open and close them and rearrange them over and over again as a fidget. Then it doesn't feel like a fidget, but it's just a toy, but he fidgets with it. This is where the sequin pillow or wall or whatever it is that his teacher has in her room, I'm going to have to go ask her, it's a sensory tool there, okay? You might have something they can chew on. They have chewable jewelry. They call it jewelry, I believe. I just find mine on Amazon, but look up chewable toys for autistic kiddos, and it'll pop up lots of things. They make them so they go on the ends of pencils. They make them so they're necklaces they can wear all around. They make them so they're big. They can just hang on to them. They make them soft. They make them hard. They make them textured. They make them smooth. So you can do some trial and error to figure out what they like. You might have something like a glitter jar or a sand timer or a lava lamp that they can watch. Now, you don't need all of these sensory tools. You can find the ones that work for your kiddo and put them in there. And in fact, in the beginning, you're going to want a simpler calm down corner. If it's got too much stuff in it, it becomes overwhelming and then that causes the dysregulation even more. You want it to be simple for them to go in and do. You might incorporate calming activities such as coloring, reading, picture books, a small stuffy or comfort toy, or some things that help them remember to calm down. Maybe you have cards that have deep breaths or count to 10 or whatever on them. You could do those sorts of things. You're going to put these sorts of things in your little corner, and then we're going to teach them how to use it. When they're calm, we're going to go explain what it is. We're going to practice using it. We're going to talk all about it. And then we're going to explain that this is just your special place where you can go to calm down when things feel too big. And you might model using it yourself. Just remember that this calm down corner is never a punishment. It's a positive place to go. And let your child decide when they're ready to leave. Praise them for when they use it. You might see something about, I love how you took care of yourself by going to your calm down corner. Or I love that you realize when you need to use your calm down corner. And then as they have a meltdown or are dysregulated, we can encourage them to go to the calm down corner. And it may not happen the first time. It may take some practice to get them to use it. But this is just like a tool like any other tool. It works great for some. It might not work for others. You might need different activities. You can rotate the activities in it so that it doesn't get boring and monotonous in their form, so that they're willing to go. But you do what works best for your child. Just remember, keep it simple and small at first. You can always add more to it later. You can ask your child what makes them feel safe. Give them ownership. And if you don't have room for a whole corner, you can do a calm down box where you put some of these things in a box that they can take to a quiet place. I just had a thought. You could do a calm down bag that you take in public with you. Maybe you're going to grandma's house and you take the calm down bag, and when life gets too dysregulating and too chaotic, then you can say, here's your calm down bag. You can go into the bedroom and play with your stuff or whatever. So yes, that is a calm down corner. We will be implementing one at our house, or I kind of have one, but I need to readjust because it hasn't been working. So we're going to be working on this at my house too. So if you want to email me and let me know how it's going at your house, I'd love to compare notes. Also, bonus tip here. When my son told me this, it wasn't because he was frustrated at school that he told me. It was after the fact, and it was when he was calm. So we can often figure out sometimes they can put into words, sometimes they can't, sometimes it takes them a while, but we can figure out what's going on after the meltdown, after they've calmed down, after they're regulated. It might even be tomorrow or the next day before we figure it out, and that's okay. But that's when we should talk about it, not in the moment of the meltdown, but after the fact. You can also, maybe they don't want to talk about it. Maybe they'll draw a picture about it. It just depends on your kiddo what works best for you, but sometimes they'll draw a picture of what's going on that's bothering them. But don't do it in the moment. Do it after the fact. Anyways, you're doing better than you think you are, Mama. Keep up the good work. Remember to keep it simple. You've got this. We'll talk to you later. Thanks so much for listening to Autism Diagnosis to Confident Mom. If this episode helped you feel a little more seen or supported, please take a moment to like, follow, or subscribe to the podcast. And if you know another parent who needs to hear this, share it with them too. We're all in this together. You're doing better than you think, Mama. You've got this.